AVP Wargamer back with another video, and today I'm going to talk about transfers on how you're going to get some lovely custom-made images onto your miniatures. And I'm going to show off my print of the day, the Giga Rusty Tank by GAMZA. Alright, welcome back AVP Wargamers. Today we're going to talk about doing transfers for your miniatures. Now, I have with me a bunch of tanks from GAMZA Miniatures. I did a video earlier about that, and I'll link it in the description below. But here we have, these are some tanks that were made by GAMZA. And GAMZA has a YouTube channel, and he talks about 40K. And he's got a Patreon where you can get all of his tanks for really cheap, and he keeps adding stuff to his Patreon, and there is no FOMO. His stuff is always available on his Patreon. He did not sponsor this at all. I backed him, and I just love these tanks because I wanted to get some Colonial Marines tanks for my Imperial Guard army that I'm designing, and I'm gonna do it in the theme of Colonial Marines because I have so many Colonial Marine miniatures from Popsicles miniatures and Protos games and all of that. So I'm just gonna go full on Colonial Marines. Now here is another tank from GAMZA. Now you see I did a transfer here. Now that transfer is actually from a Games Workshop Knight model, and then you can see those transfers right there. That's the Colonial Marines patch that I printed onto some transfer paper and then stuck on my tank. And then I'm going to show off the Giga Rusty Tank by GAMZA. Now this one, you can see I put a bunch of different stuff on here. Now this is magnetized, so I can actually swap that out with a different turret. It's called the Giga Rusty Tank. Now this is can also fill in as a Bane Blade for Warhammer 40K. Now the Bane Blade is a little bit smaller than this, but there you go. So you can see I got some Colonial Marines stickers on there. The horse heads, that is from the Knight model from Games Workshop, and there's another Colonial Marines transfer there. Now these turrets also come off, and I can swap them out for other ones. I'll go ahead and put some different ones on there, so you can see there's some las weapon options. These ones also come off too, and I will put on some other ones. Now the thing about transfers is, unless you're getting transfers from Games Workshop or from another miniature company, or unless you have a printer that can print in white, the transfers that I have, when you print the white part, it comes out as clear. Now here's some transfer papers that I have been holding for years, but you can get more of these online. Amazon sells them for pretty cheap. This is just inkjet clear water slide decal transfer paper. Now what you want to do is you want to print this with your inkjet printer. It won't work if you go to, well, at least I don't think it'll work if you go to Kinko's. It might, but it's designed for inkjet. The copiers at Kinko's use a different type of ink. I mean, you could try it out, it might work, but I use my inkjet printer at home. And then what I did was I took a bunch of Google search images of like patches and Colonial Marines images, numbers, things like that. I also wanted some nose art, you know, so I did some pen-ups and stuff like that. But amazingly, these are huge and didn't really... I actually printed these too big, you know, for these. So it is deceiving when you're photoshopping this stuff together as to how much room these actually take up. So you want to print your stuff really, really tiny so that it'll print correctly. Like I printed up a bunch of these, the bug stompers and these symbols, and these are huge. Like I have to have a really big tank to put those on. You can see I made those way too big. So definitely print them off, cut them out. And I would actually even suggest to print out just a test sheet on just regular piece of paper before you waste your water slide transfer paper, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of extra big pieces that you won't be able to use. So do a test print, cut them out, see if it's the right size. If it's not the right size, then no harm, no foul. You can just resize it in your computer and try to get a size that works for the miniatures that you're trying to get transfers for. But again, remember, it does not print in white. These are from Games Workshop, and you can see that that is actually printed in white, and the paper is blue. With this stuff, the paper is white, so all the white stuff is clear. So when you get your miniature ready for the transfer, what you want to do is you want to paint white first. So you're going to paint a circle of white, and then don't worry about it if you get the white everywhere else, because what you're going to do is once you put the transfer over your white paint, you can touch it up with some paint around it. So what I did was I just painted that white, put the transfer on, and then painted the green over the top. Now, here's some secrets on how to get your transfer paper to work. The first thing, after you print this, you have to seal it with a clear spray. So print it off, clear spray sealer the top. That way you get your ink as one solid piece, and that when you put the water on the other side, it won't deteriorate or make the ink run, because you do need to drop these in water next. So you spray it with a clear, cut it out the shape that you need, and then put it in water, and then using a brush or maybe even some tweezers, you can take that transfer out of the water and apply it to the surface of your model. It's a lot like doing like a temporary tattoo, but what it does is the image will slide off the paper. That's why they call it water slide. So you slide it off the paper onto your object, and what I would suggest is take a little bit of matte medium clear and put that down and kind of mix that in with the water as it's sliding off the transfer, as I'm showing you right now. Now you can see in this image, I took the transfer, dipped it in the water, let it soak for a little bit, put some matte medium on the surface, and that's going to work like an adhesive, because if you just slide this on without the matte medium, it will just dry out and flake off your miniature. But when you mix the matte medium in here, it's going to create a type of sealant. Now, once you've got it onto your miniature and it is dry, I would immediately seal it with a clear spray or some more matte medium. That way you will not lose the image, but from it drying out. And yeah, that's it. There you go. So again, when you're doing your object, you want to make sure that you paint the white first so that the white comes through the clear on your transfer, and then you can seal it on there like that. So I hope that helped you guys in your quest to create really cool transfers for your miniatures. So hopefully that'll help improve your hobby. Well, this is Jason, the AVP Wargamer, signing out. I hope you had fun with this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow me for more fun AVP content.